Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, may I have your attention, please? Are you ready to engage in a mind-blowing experience and hear talks about life, technology, entertainment, and business? The next episode of HIPTHER Talks starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi everyone, Zoltan here from the HIPTHERs. We are now once again recording a new episode in our podcast. Thank you everyone for subscribing to our channels. You can head to hipther.com/podcast for the to see the multiple platform list we have for you there. Today I have with me an old friend. We can consider that, as we met in 2019 in Prague at our first tech conference. He's Dean Rakic, Chief Scientist at TAAL Distributed Information Technologies, specialized in blockchain. Hi, Dean. How are you?
Perfect. Thank you for the invitation, and it's my pleasure to have me on today.
It's nice to see you again. Maybe you can give a short introduction about what you do. What's your experience in blockchain? Because I'm really fascinated about your career.
Oh, thank you for that. The fascination comes through a long runway working and then learning about the novel technology and being online always with something that comes over the night as a hype already. And yes, I'm already more than 27 years in the computer science. Last 10 and a half, already 11 years. Really connected with the blockchain technology, not only with the crypto, but the blockchain overall technology. Also, at the moment I'm teaching a blockchain at Rome Business University School in Rome, in Italy, at a masterclass of students, also besides the data science and the big data analytics, and also in Munich at the university as a part of the strategy innovation. And from the next semester will be complete course of a blockchain, the cryptocurrency, that I will completely lead in the next period for the new students of the master classes. At the TAAL, almost 1.5 years, approximately, or maybe more, dealing as a chief scientist. I prefer to say for myself, being a bridge between one side of the research, technology, science, intellectual property, especially from the patents and the research from the blockchain area, and from the other side, the business side and the product development side, just to help all of those sides to be online and right in time, so to say, with the right concrete technology that have to be implemented and used in a different kind of a business purpose, and also in a different kind of products.
Nice. I'm warning everyone that this is just in a nutshell, because there's plenty more that Dean is doing on the blockchain. So, all right. So let's discuss about your company's STAS token protocol, which has been launched, I think, last year. I want to know how it utilizes, I think it utilizes the Satoshi Vision blockchain, the BSV blockchain.
Yes, that's right. But first, before we start about a STAS token or a STAS protocol, just to give a short introduction about what is the tokenization is and the protocol. I would like to just a few sentences and a few minutes to spend on it, because we still have in a wide audience, from my personal perspective and the experience, a wrong picture of what is a token actually. And speaking in the term of token, we mostly nowadays refer to the moments when people talk about project or a process section of issuing their own coins. From this point of view, the token should refer to the property right that is created and transferred in the accounting system. The token management is not limited and centralized, so that it can be managed by one company, by one person, or a group of independent individuals called we're calling them validators.
Okay, yeah.
And in many situations, this is the primary source of information for determining property ownership, and it is called a tokenized asset. We're talking about tokenization, tokens and tokenized asset. The goal of tokenization is to speed up and improve the security of working overall with assets. And from that side, tokenization is the process of transforming an existing accounting system so that all balances are managed by users.
Got it. Yeah, then.
Cryptographic keys and assets ownership, and actually we get at that moment a digital token with that improvement. And now in accounting unit used a token in accounting unit used to represent actually the status of a user in a digital accounting system that allows proof of ownership of the corresponding assets and cryptographic mechanism that is used. And the cryptographic mechanism that is used in a tokenization process and issuing tokens and then dealing with tokens called a digital signature.
Got it.
Now connecting with the blockchain-based technology, having the blockchain in the background from all that system that is all, the tokenization is a old principle, is not comes with the blockchain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the blockchain enables the transfer of core digital assets through transactions. Now we have another step, a transaction, and that digital asset is often referred to the audience as a cryptocurrency or a native token. Someone from our area says. Actually, it is a digital asset that is specific to a particular blockchain. There are so many examples, but we know already the best one of the example nowadays is a Bitcoin. When we talk about the context of the blockchain technology, and the token is usually created and defined by using additional data fields within a transaction. It's a really core introduction about what the STAS will be give to all that kind of part of piece of processes and the steps of the process. And this additional data are often called a token data, and they are interpreted as a token by blockchain users or users of a specific token protocol. That is, users agree that the transactions, or more precisely to say, the output, because of the transaction we have two parts, input and output.
Yeah.
Output part of the transactions, which contains a certain token information, for instance, an amount, just one kind of information, should be interpreted and used as a token. Then that kind of token in a digital world can be used, sold, traded, and so on and so on. We mentioned also a part of a blockchain protocol. We have a token, tokenization, transaction, digital asset, and a protocol. And what is the protocol? The term protocol comes actually from the computer science. And it is actually a set of rules or procedures that govern the transfer of data between two or more electronic devices. It's a really a simple definition from the computer science. From the blockchain perspective, it is completely one-to-one, the same. A blockchain is a network of multiple devices, of nodes, and they are all equally important, and they are connected to each other through the internet. Essentially, a blockchain is a ledger which stores the record of what has come in and gone out in a P2P manner of peer-to-peer network. We said the rules. The rules are how to govern and validate transactions. The next rule belongs to the algorithm that defines the mechanism for participating node and how to interact with each other.
Right.
And in some cases, as we already use that in the STAS, an API, application programming interface.
Yeah.
And this is just the rules about this statement. What is about the STAS at form that we presented before? We said that we have to mention, and in the most papers already and the ads appears that the STAS from TAAL is a layer 0 protocol.
Yeah.
We don't have so deep in the description, but we know already that we have 6 layers in the blockchain technology. The layer 0 protocol, or protocols, because there could be more of them, are actually the ground floor for all blockchain protocols. And the layer 0 is also known as the data transfer layer.
Mm-hmm.
And this data transfer layer is the bottom layer of all open or OSI model, and involves the integration between blockchain and outside world or traditional networks. And that is actually the place where the TAAL plays the STAS protocol that afterwards produces a STAS token also. Because the layer 0 scaling solutions are those that do not change the blockchain structure. We rely still on the native traditional Bitcoin based and the blockchain open public infrastructure, and we are retaining actually the original ecosystem rules for performance and all the improvements that can build up on all other layers based on that. And the STAS actually and the layer 0 as a solution completely with a protocol and all in the ingredients with APIs and the features, and we will talk about it. Actually, it's a whole solution. It's a highly versatile because it does not affect the blockchain itself.
Yeah.
And it is, beside that, it's compatible with all other layers, with layer 1, layer 2, with all other layers by talking about a scaling. Because they work together to multiply the performance of the blockchain network itself. We are opening that and giving ability to place that all inside. Now, about just a few words about that covers and give a connection between a bridging all that we talks about the tokens, protocols, transactions, and all things, and where the STAS is placed actually with its architecture from that. It talks about a layer 0 architecture. It's something that talks about the token logic. It governs the transferability of tokens. There is no need for anymore with STAS protocol. There is no need for private service running the token transfer logic itself.
Okay. And
when we're looking from the perspective of a different kind of wallets that already exists on the all crypto and the blockchain area, there's no need such a modification, or we need just a simple modification to recognize the balance of a specific token. I would rather like to say a little update of or upgrade of some simple functionalities in some wallets without any modification that employ such a resources that have to be technically completely changed. The TAAL with its scripting support and with the SDK and the API also with the STAS that is delivered together, gives an ability that any user, any developer, any company, any node, any kind of enterprises can easily involve the STAS protocol, the scripting support of that kind of, by using API, SDKs, and so on, and implement in their own environment.
Got it.
And connect any kind of different already existing networks from the external world. Sometimes it looks like a hybrid blockchain, but the STAS is actually the native Bitcoin-based script, and really on the pure Bitcoin technology proclaimed by the Satoshi Nakamoto himself. And from another side, in this layer 0, there is a need for one really important part for an authenticity check, which is actually an extraction of evidence of genuinenesses from blockchain, which can run by installing a local open source software by the applications or wallets or other different kinds of implementation in the APIs, or for profit by the third-party businesses of validation through public data extraction. In that kind, we support the data layer architecture of layer 0 from the blockchain definition. And in the case of TAAL, with TAAL clients actually, it is possible to use the tool sets, as I mentioned, provided by SDK and also with some APIs, different kind of APIs that will be published in the next. Some of them are already published and some of them will be in the next period. And also the what's on chain Explorer. And that means by using our API endpoints, it is possible to fetch information related to ensuring in fact a token is valid, and if it is represent a token from the desired origin. That's the core. And the technology of such as validator is the same as the current blockchain explorers, and it is expected the most blockchain explorers will optionally provide this service to the ecosystem, no matter which kind enterprise or other solutions they provide. Connecting with the BSV, with the BSV infrastructure, with the BSV node. We know already that BSV is the world's largest public blockchain by all major utility metrics such as data storage and daily transactions volume. We have support for the scaling ability and average block size and using a tiny fraction of power consumed in the looking to the other chains. That's the place where the STAS actually is token. Later, maybe we will touch more features directly from the STAS. That's just the introduction. I had to.
It also gives the opportunity for the listeners to learn more about the layers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very complex answer for this first question, and lots of things to learn about it. You mentioned numbers of transactions. So is there an overall number of transactions, maybe a maximum you have already reached?
When you're talking about the transactions, it's a really a big challenge about the challenge and processing them. How many transactions we have? There is on the market always a struggle to have to get more transactions on board at your node and processing them and so on. Looking from that perspective, we have to go back also to the theory and to touch the structure of the block itself. we have already the header and some touching points and connection with the previous and the next. At that point, we no need to go deeper. And we have a payload part of the block. The payload part of the block is actually where we are placing our transactions. That means if we talk about a transaction, that means how many single transactions can be placed inside of the payload part. The last one that we push on 24th August as a public site is a 4 gigabyte of transactions inside one of block.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a really lot, and it is already tested and it's official. And at the moment, I'm pretty sure that there is no other competitors. I don't want to talk about the competitions, but just to mention that there is no other block sizes that can actually process in one block a 4 gigabyte of transactions, no matter how many transactions there are. That means there are because the TAALs with its blockchain infrastructure and a complete support of the BSV network and the architecture of the BSV do not care anymore about the scalability problem.
Okay.
Actually, we take care in the manner supporting that with our technology and a complete infrastructure that gives an ability to the user to place as much more transactions they can up to the 4 gigabytes in the block. That means there will not be a problem in the near future, and there will not be a challenge if we have 200 million transactions.
Okay.
We can place it on a block in a daily basis. It's just now a part of implementing our SDKs, APIs, and all other things in different kinds of external users that can come up to the network and use that features. That gives also with the STAS and the supporting the complete BSV infrastructure that is in behind of all other work.
Yeah, you mentioned that you encountered challenges when processing these millions of transactions. How do you cope with them?
It's on a BSV itself.
Okay.
BSV itself gives an ability to process transactions and the block size with no scalability manners.
Okay.
That's it. That's simple.
It's enough.
That's enough.
And yeah, could you explain what TAAL is doing with the STAS token?
A story about a STAS and what TAAL is doing actually with the token. Yes, it's very simple. It's in a lifestyle of how to use a STAS actually as a protocol in the token. First, we proclaim it and then push it to the audience and to the market as a protocol. And based on that, we built a STAS token. That means the users can produce this also based on that protocol, their own tokens based on their needs. If it is possible, we give that a possibility. And actually the implementing STAS, if you want to be successful, it should follow a two-step procedure. The first is the implementation of the token schematics, also known as tokenomics. And actually the tokenomics refer to the possibility or the possible movements and uses of STAS that have been transformed or actualized from the native Bitcoin denominations into the minted token with a legal issuance contract.
Okay.
A user who wants to mint or to issue a STAS token must look up at the defined amounts of sats in his wallet, actually in his wallet address that represents the actual minted STAS token. And it making it makes it that is possible for any wallet to remove or double spend the native sats. It is the same principle with a working model that is that comes from so many colored coins in the past and have been failed. The STAS overcome all of those steps and gives them ability to the user just to perform their actions as they need. Normally covered with all technical and legal regulations that should be done in this part of the tokenization. The second part of the STAS, it means that the standards governs the issuance of transaction and how it is actually sequenced inside of the chain creation. The sequencing occurs such that all supporting wallets and the public nodes or public node infrastructures understand how to interpret and support the STAS token ecosystem or system itself in the behind. How? By providing the needed authenticity. Means the origins and checks of that. And the TAAL is really and going with the implementation of STAS by using a native Bitcoin script.
Okay.
These scripts are in the form of transactions templates, which impose and brings the restrictions on the usability of the UTXO, unspent transactions. They are containing actually a certain number of sets. And there are also some special restrictions on outputs via smart token scripts and so on and so on. But anyone who is interested in that can just give us a feedback about this, and or to read in the already published white paper on TAAL.com website.
All right. Yeah. So, what could you name are the most important benefits STAS is bringing to the game?
That's right. That's a list of STAS functionalities.
Okay.
And talk, yes, we have that. It's about that. No, we have a pretty defined and the structure, architecture, and the functionalities that STAS as protocol or afterwards create as a created token, issued token, can give to the audience. The first one is a STAS token schema. Mm-hmm. It means it defines in a JSON file as the minting terms and enables the minting of STAS tokens or coins by creating a business logic with some reward structure, data validation, and so on. Then we have a contract transaction to the BSV network as a feature, or as an important part that gives STAS in the advance of the audits. That means it passes the defined minting token JSON schema into a legal text document.
Oh, okay.
It is then published in the BSV blockchain networks and enables any user or developer to view the token terms, company details, and so on and so on. Then we have the issuance of STAS itself. The issuance blocks of the Satoshis and mint process of minting STAS tokens with a defined value from the token schema we already met. Mm-hmm. This is just another steps and gives an ability to the users and developers to convert the sats, actually, the tokens as an input to the STAS tokens or coins as the output.
Okay.
Covering the complete process by issuance feature. Actually, it is a unspent one-to-one, unspent to to transfer it or one-to-n by splitting transaction. The splitting means split to various BSV addresses using the BSV accounting method called UTXO, unspent transactions output. And that also means that any token can be split into one-to-n, which is not an ability of most of other tokens in the crypto world at the moment. They are, but we already show that it's a functionality that works. It is also expectation of the NFTs, non-fungible tokens. The NFT tokens cannot be split or merged, and the data can only be added as a part of the issuance process.
Okay.
An NFT token can be transferred, swapped, or redeemed. And the STAS protocol enables any NFT to be part of the blockchain network on that way.
So it revolutionizes the NFT.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the point. Also, there are some other features. Swapping, the atomic swap functionality. It's a trustless exchange of different assets without counterparty risk. We are now doing that with the BSV ecosystem, but it enables actually if we have an external network, an external world, to be easily transferred and connected and placed inside of the BSV world.
It sure brings a lot of innovation.
That's right. That's right. I mentioned already a one-to-n STAS splitting, a transfer one-to-one, a merge of a STAS is also one functionality. The merge functionality enables to user or to developer or anyone who is using that to send or to input and split multiple STAS tokens to one address at the output. It means that instead of sending, for instance, 10 separate tokens in 10 individual transactions, this functionality merged these into one transaction.
Got it.
That means lower fees, much more speed, and a scalability problem does not exist with 10 times more less and so on and so on. And also we can as functionality as an advanced says that the redemption is a feature of STAS, and the holder of STAS token now can redeem the STAS to the BSV native coins by sending back the STAS to the original address. A simplified process. There is no need so many steps and then the processes in the between that should be engaged just to go back. Merge and split, it's a combination of merge and splitting, and also the combination of redemption and splitting at the same time. It looks like a complex process, but the redemption split function enables to user or to developer to redeem a portion of STAS token back in the native BSV coins by sending an amount to the original redemption address, and the remaining STAS tokens stay on the address.
So, yeah.
Normally, and then there are a few more features, but there is also you can find it also in the paper. There's a beta version that is already published. It's also an API. I'm a fan of APIs nowadays because I came from the computer science and my original world still stays on the APIs and the Java.
Yeah.
I like the APIs. Actually, with the STAS, we give them an API and associated key actually enable users and developers actually in the first line to broadcast the token or coins across the BSV network by using the transaction services that we are providing from TAAL. And I'm also the fun of bunch of the APIs. In the future, I would like to have a wood of APIs from any kind of sources, and for any user that want to be a part of the networking, to have one template, one door, just to jump in and to use all of those functionalities from different kind of APIs. Just by calling, this will simplify the network transfer, and at the moment the only BSV network can enable that infrastructure, because there is no need for creating a side chains for each of those processes by the data transaction.
So I think if we put it in one sentence, STAS is bringing a lot to the game.
That's right.
Is it compliant? Is STAS compliant with regulatory bodies?
That's right. We already published a patent. STAS is a property right, intellectual property right of TAAL. We have published it already in the UK, and in the next week will be all open, will be published also and be accessible at the international level.
Oh, okay.
From the people who are familiar with the patents rights, is pretty simple to know why we firstly published that in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom law about the patents are most restrictive in the world.
Yeah, so if you have that license, it's
that's firstly, if someone got a UK patent license that your patent is filed, then means yes, we can go further and publish it worldwide. And at the moment, we are covered with all regulatory policy. It is also covered by the idea, not just an idea, and the real world working of our company TAAL, that is a published company doing the blockchain mining and supporting the all networking process in the transactional world and the data storing.
Yeah, so when you mentioned mining, our brain somehow connects to energy, and let's talk about energy efficiency. So I don't know if it's possible to accurately estimate the power consumption of a blockchain network.
Yes, it is. It is. There are so many principles and technology support that can bring us that the proof of work. That means one CPU, one vote for the energy consumptions. Because we know already, it's a completely known that the nodes that who are the energy consumption actually as a source. Where the sources comes from in the energy consumption question of mining. Nodes that validate and relay transactions, pools that coordinate miners' activities, and the next one is a transactional processing hardware.
Yeah.
The proof of work consensus mechanism or protocol increased the energy usage is directly related to increased resiliency and security.
Okay.
And when we are talking about that, we have to mention confidentiality, integrity, and availability. What we have from all of those sides that we give as a benefit using a proof of work, it's much more lower than the other networks gives with much higher fees and the lower energy consumption. Just to mention, we have a really strict measurement, and we take care about a sustainable energy consumption that covers. It's not only just talking about the trends, because now is a sustainability and energy consumption is a trend worldwide.
Yeah.
And the environment protection and so on. At the moment, currently each BSV transactions produces 2 kilo of CO2. Just in a comparing with others, with the BTC, for instance, it's a almost 200 times lower than BTC.
Yeah, which is good. Yeah, I read that somewhere that the BSV blockchain is much more energy efficient. Yeah,
that's right. Our infrastructure is based on sustainable energy sources. That's the first point.
And not just because it's a trend.
Not just because trend. That's the principle of our company, and we are always looking for sustainable energy sources and there to place our proof of work and the mining capacities.
Okay, so maybe I would like to ask you a couple of questions about the gaming gambling industry, and how is blockchain changing the gaming policy?
When we touch the stories and also about the gaming and the policies, it's a big story.
It is.
In the gaming nowadays, because the gamings are mostly online. We have the games for our kids, for children elsewhere in the schools and so on. But when you're talking about the gaming, we're talking about the gaming online. Yeah. And in the most cases, it's a story about responsible gaming or real-time gaming infrastructure that can be supported by different kind of novel technologies and give some more abilities and more so to say transactional processing that can give a benefit to overcome all challenges from the gaming industry. Just in this manner, according to some analysis of online gaming, it is always talk about a revenue.
Yeah.
And the revenue is mainly generated from that online games or betting, online casino betting, poker betting, and so on and so on. And it is always an outcome of internet usage. Besides that, the new technologies like virtual reality, 5G, artificial intelligence, extended reality, give a wind in the back for the iGaming or responsible gaming. And from that point of view, the network gaming vendors and the current players in the iGaming industry are actually hubs scattered all over the world. And the regulations gives more abilities from the national, regional, national levels up to the international levels, step by step, and reaching the state of the regular online and iGaming, gamings and betting. The iGaming, and I said already, it's the industry which is connected to the internet, and the exchange actually of the large amounts of data in the real time. And this is automatically reflected in the increase of volume in the transactional processing, the number of transactions at the level of data over the internet or and various transaction data carriers in electronic form, and thus open the number of challenges that are imposed to the gamers or to the game providers. I would like to list just a few of challenges, maybe some obstacles from the gaming industry that comes nowadays, and then we are estimating that as these challenges, and how the TAAL and the BSV can help to overcome those challenges. One by one. The first one is transparency and trust. What is this about? This is about increasing number of users and players. It means that the organizers or the providers of online games are faced with the need to establish a high level of integrity in order to establish satisfactory trust in the operator-player relationship. How the TAAL and the BSV can help with that challenge? because the BSV and the TAAL has already proven itself through the practical implementation of its blockchain solution through immutable principles of data storage system. That's the solution from our side. The next one is scalability. It's about the network gameplay developers, actually from the first line, face this problem due to network limitation and abilities to process a large amounts of data or process large amounts of transactional data in the short period of time. And we would like to say a real time, but it's a near real time still. We already mentioned the solution. The BSV and TAAL already shown how to process more thousands of transactions per second in one block. And we doubled from the previous 2 gigabyte block to now to the 4 gigabyte block. That's the solution. Then, when we're talking about the responsible gaming, this is a key factor in the success of online gaming, implementing a blockchain. Why? Because the iGaming, and it is actually the key focus on the industry in the iGaming to protecting players from exposure to potentially harmful behavior. This is becoming an increasingly important as a point for regulators and operators.
Yep.
It is necessary because it is need to be fulfilled to ensure a sustainable gaming or gambling environment. And TAAL with the BSV is a key factor in the success of online gaming or gambling, in iGaming actually. This has become an increasingly important point, and the all prerequisites that players can be encouraged to behave more responsible in relation to gambling, as well as identifying the opportunities to educate players about the risks and how their gambling and actually can be risky.
Yep.
And what could be as a behavior part inside, and how to work more responsibly to their games and set together with the basic postulates of the blockchain infrastructure. That means by implementing and accepting that responsible gaming support and rules, we can process a large amount of data, which is the core of responsible gaming in the background by meaning of technical support. This also leads to an improvement in player yields, which is very important for network game organizers, for the providers, because on that principle, the players stay within sustainable limits, bringing profits or wins to players and to the operators on the game performer, let's say. The next challenge is something that is already mentioned as a challenge to the gaming, iGaming, and responsible gaming betting, online betting industry is inefficient backend functions or backend functionality. It's a huge obstacle or a problem with the most game and the online games providers. What it is about? The existing online gaming platforms still do not have automatic recording of real-time player and betting data. This is necessary in order for backend functions to become more efficient and thus lead to the provision of betting quality games. And the more who is targeted, it is more targeted for incentives for players in the form of bonus, prize, and so on and so on, withdrawing and so on and so on. How the TAAL gives a solution, a help in this area by allowing a verifiable, provable model for meeting responsible online games and other compliance requirements, because it's already fully met all the prerequisites from the BSV to enable all iGaming operators and processors actually to have a timely insights into all transactions on real-time transaction data storage, which is actually a blockchain itself. This allows also a post-processing of all transactions in a very simple way, because the information is available after the games or bets and remain stored on the blockchain without the possibility of compensation for change or processing of data, which contributes to business efficiency and also to the later forecasting of complete iGaming events. Okay. Then we have a problem of high costs. The number of users that increases in the online gaming, the gaming industry at all overall, is evident, because from the market analysis is evident, and the forecast is also says that the number of transactions and questions of the number of users increases, which leads to an increase in the number of employees for monitoring and for business, and thus complicating current costs. It is completely moves to also to online gaming. This is a problem that was existing already in the gaming industry, in the complete gambling industry, and now is moves also to the online, because the same problem is, as more users, more transactions, increasing the more competence and resources that have to be employed to monitor this process.
Exactly.
And the TAAL and the BSV already delivers a large number of transactions per unit of time in large blocks, a huge amount of data. But what is important, with the lowest price per single or bulk transaction, depends on the needs of the game provider. That means for the near zero price of transactions, we can give as much data as they need to process in the real-time processing of the online gaming or a gambling process. Okay. So that is also just two more I would like to mention. Sorry for just it's a lack of consistency and the potential errors. One of the big challenge for the iGaming arises because each compliance officer observes and handles things differently because they have different work styles. In addition, this work is still processed manually and is prone to errors because it's on person, which means that the process has to be repeated again and again, and it is especially aggravated if you work on several cases at the same time. The TAAL and the BSV has established a transaction monitoring and tracking system so that complete blockchain analytics are obtained based on some methods built into the TAAL products and the BSV infrastructure and architecture itself, and thus exclude such a big staff and the compliance errors in the consistency monitoring process, and also for the compliance checking. Makes it much easier. That also touch the point of the errors of the personality, and these errors, actually, there is no room more for anti-money laundering.
Yeah,
really important and interesting from the regulators, from the regulatory level, from the national level, regional level, international level. We help the how to actually track and trace the anti-money laundering by using the BSV infrastructure and transactional processing inside. And in the short period of time, by implementing the game providers will be enabled with the actual real-time monitoring by any operator and service provider, and enable early detection of the potential money laundering in the iGaming and the gambling industry at all.
Yeah, so I think you already answered my next question, because certainly there are
Probably.
because I wanted to ask if blockchain can redefine the gaming industry, but
Yes, that's one of the.
Given everything that you said, it's definitely among.
One more point I will add that is really important is we have a different parties in the online gaming, iGaming, responsible gaming, betting, and online betting, and so on. It's about two more points actually. The one is identity management.
Yep.
The problem of identity management. How to check and enable someone an easiest way of to be identified on the network and to perform a gaming.
The KYC. The KYC.
That's right. And also to enable a process that is called a transformation and the connectivity between game provider, payment provider, and the users and their wallets from the player or a better side. Why? Because the problem of still existence is on-ramp and off-ramp payments. That means the users comes to the network on a gaming platform with a fiat, mostly with the fiat monies. That's a centralized money. And the problem of withdrawal that is still existing. With implementing actually the PSV principle of the micropayments, and in the near future will be also the nano payments.
Yeah.
These problems will be actually clear.
Okay. So is tokenization a future of the gaming, gambling, and are there any benefits?
Actually, yes. It is always a question, should that or this should be tokenized? If we're talking about transferring a physical object or physical also then and actions into some transfer of knowledge, goods, or any kinds of types that should estimate or need some kind of monetization between the users on the network. That means we need to have a principle, maybe in the future will not be just called a token or a tokenization, but I see in the future will be mostly automated processes in the background of all providers that support some area of transactions.
Okay, got it. Okay, so any closing remarks about blockchain in 2022 at this certain point in January, because we will be probably discussing this in March, June,
yes,
and
next
October. So.
For sure, yeah. For sure. I don't want to go and make a predictions on the crypto. I don't want to do that. There are some principles of that, and there are some possibilities, but is the crypto itself as abbreviation, as a part of the blockchain side, is actually very dynamic, and so many factors are inside, and it is not so easy to say yes or to be honest. I don't do that, but I would like also always to talk about blockchain implementation. I see the next or the near future of the blockchain implementation actually in various enterprises. At the enterprise level, at the industry like agriculture, automotive industry, self-driving cars, normally in the all the metaverse supported technologies, not just in the metaverse, but in the old technologies that gives to the society all abilities of novel technologies and such a just implementation of blockchain. I'm always like to say, also I'm telling that to the students, the blockchain itself is not an overall solution for any kind of the problem. Blockchain technology and its implementation helps you on a different stages and steps to improve your process and to make possible a new value creation.
Yeah. So I think that is one strong statement to end this episode. Thank you everyone for joining us, and join us next week for another episode of HIPTHER Talks podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Be sure to check back next week for the next HIPTHER Talks and subscribe on Amazon Music, Overcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, and Pandora.